how Trek 1,
Trek
2,
in the Valley.
How do the levels look and
Yeah,
sound?
they look good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek podcast, where myself, Adam Ordall Quinnell, and my co-host,
Hey, how's it going? It's Hirt.
Al Hirt, and I get together in the sunny San Fernando Valley to discuss an episode of Star Trek, the original series. We just basically give you a recap, and there you go. If you ever thought these episodes, you didn't want to watch them, but you'd rather have two guys tell you about them,
Yeah.
this is for you. You landed in the right place. So last week, we always start with what was last week.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we recorded. Al, do you remember what episode was released today? The day we recorded it?
Oh, I don't. It was
Not trying to put you on the spot. You edited it this morning.
Yes, I know I did. It is. I want to say. I don't remember.
A wolf.
A wolf in the fold. That's what it was.
Yes.
It was something in the fold.
You know, we never talked on that episode about what the title meant. Like a wolf.
Didn't we bring it up though? The line once.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But because the wolf in the fold wasn't Scotty. It was the local person that was doing the killing.
Oh, that's right.
Yup.
And then we were just like, wow. Scotty's such a perv.
So that was last week. Yeah, but Scotty wasn't really a perv, it turns out, which is nice. It's good when you're heroes.
Oh my gosh, and then it just...
not this time.
That's right, it just goes off, and then it's like Jack the Ripper's souls in the Enterprise computer.
Oh shit, that's right. When I was writing up the episode notes when I released it today, I said, "Is Scotty a Jack the Ripper style killer?" And
Perfect.
I was like, was it really like Jack the Ripper? I can't remember much about the episode. Oh yeah, no, exactly, it was.
He was so deadly that his soul just
Jack the Ripper
went into the beyond, into space. What was the line? It was like Kirk was like, when we went out into space, we brought all the shit with us. We brought
the soul of Jack the Ripper. I want to be that, but for comedians. You know, like hundreds of years from now, they're in space and there's a ghost that's just like killing it at comedy shows in the Federation. And they're like, man, goddamn, that guy was a ghost. From a different, he was so fucking funny.
He's having this ethereal power.
We brought him with us. When we went out into the stars, we brought all the violence and humanity, and also a bunch of observational jokes about depression, something we no longer really experience. So that was last week. Wolf in the Fold. Wolf in the Fold sounds like an 80s, like a new wave song.
Yeah.
And this week though. It's a banner episode.
This sounds like an album.
The Wolf in the Fold?
No, this title, The Trouble with Tribbles.
Definitely. Well, there you go. Trouble with Tribbles. This is a big one.
Yes.
This is an episode that IMDb has listed as top rated. So you know.
Wow. Bunch of little fuzzy ones is more like it. But
well,
yes.
Exactly. Well, here's what So we don't really Wikipedia anything or look at like the audience reception. We don't do a lot of that.
It's always interesting though in hindsight.
Yeah, when we do take the time later. But about this, like, so because lately I've been seeing, because we've done a few top rated episodes. And obviously they're the ones that would be on the best of lists or whatever, right? But who is going on to imdb.com and like writing reviews and giving ratings of individual episodes of Star Trek? I feel like those people
doing recordings.
So I'm not first off, I'm not judging those people. But I think that's like almost a deeper that's definitely a deeper level of Star Trekery than what we do on the podcast. Like that seems even more like, wow, I guess I could include...
No, I don't know, sitting down and typing,
Sitting down and typing a review of each episode.
Yeah.
Like not...
I don't edit as tight as I used to, so I got the gate down. Then now it's just...
Yeah, we don't. We're a lean, mean Star Trek podcasting machine at this point.
But I think it's like, I don't know. I guess I know what you're saying in a sense of that's a lot of words.
Not just any Star
every
Trek.
episode.
Not just Star Trek though. I mean, but going on to IMDb and writing a review of an episode of anything just seems wild to me. And and that's what I'm saying. It's saying a lot coming from somebody who spends several hours a week working on a Star Trek podcast, you know? But this just happens to be one of the times when the top-rated epic classic episode is also one of my favorites. This is an episode that I've liked ever since I was a kid. It was an episode that was featured in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
When you remember that?
No.
So Sisko and some of the crew on Deep Space Nine go back in time to this
episode.
and they're like in the background and shit. And I think it would have been hilarious if they had included them in the background in the remaster. Like when we're watching it, you just see Sisko and like Bashir standing in the background in their period piece uniforms. But so this is the Trouble with Tribbles. It aired on December 29th, 1967. So the last episode of 1967. And the synopsis from Paramount Plus is: the entire Enterprise is overrun by furry creatures while tangling with Klingons and bureaucrats. Two bad things. And
the Tribbles.
Well, they're while tangling with the furry creatures.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got it in there. But and Tribbles, we'll get into what Tribbles are and all that. But I want to say that the racism. Let's just start because it opens with Chekhov being very racist against Klingons because they're going to this space. They're going to this outpost that might be close to Klingon territory, and
it's a space station K7.
Yeah, and it's 1 parsec away from Klingon territory, and Chekhov says we'll be close enough to smell them.
Yeah,
which is really funny that they have the Russian character being racist in the 60s. They're like, hey. We don't want us to look like racist pieces of shit, so we'll have the surrogate communist.
They really throw him under the bus in this whole first bit too.
Yeah, and he's
like right script wise.
Yep, they use Chekhov as the surrogate racist in the audience who like hates Klingons,
and he's just. He gets all his. They just dunk on him for getting all of his history wrong all the time.
Yeah, because like for example, the area that they're going to in space, Chekhov says that it was discovered by a Russian astronomer.
Astronomer, yeah. But then Kirk corrects him, saying John Burke.
And Spock is like, John Burke discovered this area from the Royal Academy, and Chekhov is like, oh yeah, Royal Academy, whatever. He thinks that everything history has been Russia washed, like Russia's done everything in history. And so basically Kirk says, hey, look, is your work going to be as shoddy as your memory of history? And he's like, I'm good at being an ensign. So they want him to learn about this, about being close to these Klingons. Kirk wants the ensign Chekhov to learn things. And then they get a priority 1 distress call.
That interrupts everything.
And what does a priority 1 distress call mean?
Isn't it just they just go freak out and it's a red alert and they have to get there as soon as possible?
It's like a quadruple red alert. It's a disaster.
Because it's like 911.
Yeah,
right?
That's a disaster. Emergency 1. That's a disaster call.
A disaster.
It means that you're like they expect to see a space station that is decompressing in front of them. So they're racing to this station to see what's going on. And when they get there,
hype, right, for the intro,
and then when they get there, wait, are they there yet? So great title card, The Trouble with Tribbles, written by David Gerold. Oh, it's Joseph Pevney, the director. It's somebody else directed the next episode. Great shot of the Enterprise coming out of the break. And so they're racing to this space station, and I really should have watched the side-by-side because I bet they juiced up this space station something wild. Now, here's what I think is funny. They show up to this priority 1 distress call, and they just see this space station, and Kirk says, "That's weird. It's all peaceful." And it's like, you can't judge what the fuck's going on outside.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You expect to see it do you expect to see it on fire? Or like, what do you expect to
It's
see?
spinning out of control.
And so he calls down to the person who's in charge there, and that person is
he shows up multiple times. I forgot his name.
Oh, it's
though.
Burke.
Burke.
Yeah, he's the guy, right? So basically, let's see here.
No, and then the rude one is Niles Barris, right?
Oh, Barris is the guy.
Barris
He's in charge
is the one
of
that called, but he's in charge of agricultural affairs.
Grain. Nils Barris.
God, he's such a jerk.
He is such a tool
it is
shed.
pretty much the worst.
So basically, they get there and they're like, "You called it priority 1 distress call, and there is no priority 1 emergency. You had better be on fire, motherfucker." And Nils Barris is like, "You better come down and talk to us."
Yeah, he's like, "We'll beam you down and explain."
He's like, "You're goddamn right." Kirk's like, "You goddamn right. You'll explain."
Explain.
So they beam down into I love it when they have a little personal transporter beam. It reminds me of like
they just
the little.
expect 2 people every time.
It's like the 2-cup coffee maker in a hotel room, like where they're side by side. So here we meet. This guy's not Nils Barris. He's the head of the station,
right?
And what's his name?
Was it Darwin, right?
Koloff? No, Koloff is the
assistant.
Yeah, Korax.
Koloff is the Klingon.
Ensign Freeman, guard, trader. I don't know. So there's the guy in the orange jumper. He is head of the station. And then this guy, Nils Barris, is in charge of this Quattro Triticale grain. Now, what do we know about... So basically, Kirk says, you're storing wheat? What the hell? Who cares?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's not wheat, Captain. So we find out what's at the crux of this whole thing. There's a place called Sherman's Planet. And
they say that from the very beginning, though.
Yes. And it's so Sherman... That's where they're going. They're going to Sherman's Planet. Right. And because it's
and the space station's close, right?
Yep. And it's a parsec away from the Klingon space. So... Sherman's Planet is in contention because it's basically whoever can develop the planet most efficiently is going to get control of whatever they can grow or do on it, right? And so the Federation is kind of in competition with the Klingons to more efficiently develop the area so that they get control of Sherman's Planet. Now, what this guy is saying, what Nils Barris is saying is, hey... the reason we've got this wheat, and Kirk says, oh, it's wheat. And the guy says, no, it's not wheat. It's Quattro Triticale, which is a very hardy grain that's going to grow well on Sherman's Planet.
And then that's going to be their pull to take over the planet, quote unquote, in sustainability, right?
Yeah, that's their bid. Lurie, sorry.
Mr. Lurie, right?
Mr. Lurie is the guy in the orange jumpsuit who runs the station.
But what was I saying? Yeah, they were both the Federation and the Klingons are fighting over Sherman's Planet and to whoever seems more efficient. And then Kirk was like, the Klingons are assholes, but they are consistent, so they kind of have a pull here.
I like how Kirk is like, gotta hand it to him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He says, they do it with savage means, but they definitely know how to grow some fucking Klingon wheat.
Yeah, and so then now they got to compete with this what is it?
Quattro Triticale.
Quattro Triticale.
Quattro Triticale. I've watched this episode a few times. Quattro Triticale. Quattro Triticale. Quattro Triticale. So weird. Basically, and there's a running gag where everybody knows about Quattro Triticale except Kirk.
Yeah. That's funny, though. It's a good flip because Kirk is usually the one that's, like, knowledgeable.
And Spock mentions knows what it is. And even Nils Barris is like, I never thought that people like you. This guy, so this is like here's who Nils Barris is. He's
admin.
He's an admin in the Federation for agriculture, like you said, from the compendium.
Agricultural affairs.
And he is a shithead. He and Kirk butt heads immediately because... So what? Okay, here just to get a little back and forth going. Why is Kirk there? What is the nature of the emergency? We've got Quattro Triticale. So what?
Well, he just needs him to protect it, right? With like as many Federation people as possible.
From who?
From the Klingons.
Oh, so
right?
he thinks the Klingons are going to take the grain. And he wants Kirk to station security guards.
Right.
And Kirk is like, listen, you jackass. He eventually gives in to give him...
What, 2?
Well, hold on. Doesn't he? He does 2. I don't know if he does any after this. Basically, he's saying... So basically,
Kirk has to beg him too, though.
Kirk is threatening to have them arrested for misuse of the Priority 1 distress call channel. And Lurie is like, no, you don't have to do that. Can't you sacrifice just a couple of security guards to come down here? And Kirk says, yeah, I guess we can have 2. We can leave 2 guards and then do shore leave for everybody else. Right. So that's what they're going to do. And Nils Barris is pissed.
Of course.
He says, you don't understand and this is the zinger. Kirk says, I have never questioned the intelligence of any representative of the Federation. And he turns around to walk away, and then he turns back and says, until now. Zing. And until now. And everybody is just shocked. Just blown away that Kirk, the insubordination.
Well, the thing is, like... He breaks the rules all the time too, so it's really funny that he's like, you misuse the distress call.
You've noticed that too, huh? You've noticed that too, that Kirk is a real rules follower when it's everybody that isn't Kirk. Yeah, that's a thing that he does for sure.
Of course. So now it's part of his charm, I guess. That's with this Star Trekism.
Yeah, and so now they've got shore leave, and I think it's funny that they call it shore leave when it's
on a space station.
Space station. It's station leave, and I think they call it station leave in the future when people go to Deep Space Nine.
Maybe they already have the what is that called? The virtual.
No, they don't have holodecks.
The holodecks. Yeah.
No, they don't have that yet.
True.
But. That's like one of the terms that gets changed, and I think they probably still call it shore leave in the future. I think there's like a Star Trek Next Generation episode called shore leave.
But yeah, it's funny that you say that because they do go into like a big other hunk of metal.
so they're going to have shore leave, and they're in
the one bar.
The one bar. And Uhura and Chekhov show up, and Chekhov is going to help Uhura shop.
I don't know.
That's what he says, and Uhura's like, oh, you
just want to kick it.
There is a joke where Kirk is like, oh, that you got shore leave, and she's like, I never get shore leave. Fuck you. This is my shore leave. Leave me alone. Hilarious.
That's what it's. Yeah, this whole beginning is just like, I don't know. They just feel not tense, but it's just like on edge, and it's funny because they're all just nipping at each other a bit.
Dude, Quattro Triticale, Chekhov says it was invented by somebody from Russia.
Exactly. They keep going with that too.
And it's like in the with the Who Mourns for Adonis, he had a bunch of references to. So he says Quattro Triticale is a Russian invention. They all humor him.
Yeah, and Kirk's like, what the hell? How does everybody know about this?
Enter Cyrano Jones. Tell me about Cyrano Jones, Al.
He's kind of just have this like... I don't know, this wide stature with this giant-ass jacket. He's one of those people that you see in, like, the stereotypical things in the streets. And what's it called?
Like the
guys that have a market. The guys that have a bunch of watches or, like...
in his
bunch of coat. Yeah, a bunch of crazy shit in their coat.
Yeah, like a street vendor.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm talking about way back when.
Yeah.
Or in other places, too.
Or now, everywhere else. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, he's Cyrano Jones.
But he's got big-ass pockets, too.
He's a merchant. He can fit anything in his pockets.
I guess so.
Before we started this recording, you said he kind of reminded you of Mud, but like a good, like
a better, like a more, what is it called?
A chaotic neutral Mud rather than a neutral evil Mud.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Like Mud is neutral evil, and this guy's chaotic neutral or chaotic. neutral good.
Neutral, yeah.
Because he doesn't break. They eventually do a background check on him.
People,
No, and the Tribbles are a harmless thing, but we meet him, and he's trying to sell the bartender at this station bar a Tribble.
Well, before the Tribble, he tries to sell them some like liquid or cream or something, and he's like, I use those shitty stones that you sold me. I cleaned that with the drip that you sold me months ago. Like,
he knows he's onto this guy's bullshit.
Yeah.
Cyrano Jones has an uphill battle with this bartender.
Spick and flame gems. That's what he calls it.
And so basically,
he's a bartender and a vendor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he runs the station commerce, I would imagine. And so Mud then goes, all right, this is my last ditch effort. Oh no, he's got Antarian glow water. Yeah, I use that to polish the flame gems.
Yep.
So eventually he pulls out a little fuzzy thing called a tribble.
Oh my gosh.
And it's adorable and it squeaks. It's just a little fluff ball.
It just purrs.
It's basically like popples from when you were a kid, but it's never pops.
It looks like a Furby though, but
it does, like a Furby. It's like if a Furby
like a
was
Furby
just
egg.
It's like a Furby if every time you looked at it, it was from behind.
Yeah.
Any angle. So it's a little fur ball called a tribble.
How they made those.
And it really it attracts Uhura and Chekhov. And so basically this guy's trying to work out a deal. He wants 10 credits per tribble from the bartender. And they do some haggling.
Yeah.
Cyrano Jones does some haggling, and he ends up settling on like 6 credits or whatever with the bartender. Mm-hmm. And he's going to sell him a bunch of tribbles, but he says, I'm going to keep this sample one and I'm going to give it to this lovely lady because
he's like, this is what I do, what I please.
Also he says that his logic is other people will see her with it and then they will buy tribbles themselves.
Duh.
But as we find, that's not how tribbles work.
Of course. I don't know why he was trying to trick him from the jump.
Like, does he must know. He says that's how he gets him to regenerate. He feeds him, like we find out later.
He doesn't really leave either.
No, he just hangs out. He doesn't expect it to go all fucking crazy. And this is the thing. So tribbles, we find out later, they're kind of like gremlins in that you need to follow some rules or they'll reproduce.
Right.
And this guy doesn't, unlike gremlins, this guy doesn't say the rules. He just gives Uhura this tribble and he's like, off you pop. And so basically,
we'll see it all unfold obviously as the episode goes. I like what's his name? I like Bones' breakdown of them, but that'll be later in the episode when he does the research.
Yeah, and also there's a hilarious line that I got
the metabolism and all that.
We're gonna cover it when she gives Bones the tribble. So now Starfleet contacts Kirk and Spock. And Starfleet's like, you fucking idiots, I just got a call from Nils Barris and he's saying that you're being jerks. Give him anything he asks for. Give him every security measure that he asks for. We need Sherman's planet. The key to winning in the quadrant is the grain quadrant. So basically the Admiral says...
I don't even think they do it. They do it in the end, obviously.
Well, now Kirk's got to fucking go back down to the station with his hat in his hand like... Yeah, I guess you get all the security people you want. And Nils Barris can just be like, I thought that might happen.
It just feels like cringy and ridiculous, too, that, like, I don't know, there's all this back and forth that's, like, really unnecessary, but it's hilarious, though, how Kirk comes up with all these quips to bring down this ambassador this guy of agricultural affairs.
Nils Barris.
Well, I like saying agricultural affairs too.
Nils Barris, he sounds like
Nils Barris.
He sounds like a British rocker from the '60s. Nils Barris, he's like the bass player for some old rockin' band.
He sounds like a bounty hunter too. Nils Barris.
Yeah, there you go from Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Now, there's then an alert, a proximity alert, because it turns out that there's a fucking Klingon warship 100 kilometers off the station. What the hell? And Kirk calls down to Lurie, the guy who runs the station, like, hey, there's a Klingon ship around there. And then Lurie says, hey, I don't think the Klingons are planning to attack us. Kirk says, how do you know? And he goes, well, their captain is standing right here, you fucking idiot. Don't say anything shitty about the Klingons. They're right here.
Oh, my God, those savages. They're trying to sneak up on you.
This is such a...
It's a funny fan out, yeah.
So this is a great fucking shot. So they on the view screen, they've got Lurie, and then they've got the Klingon captain, and the Klingon captain's first officer. Koloth is the Klingon captain, right? William Campbell. And then Korax is his first officer that's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's right.
in the background, the Enterprise is flying by. I love that. I never noticed that.
True.
So behind Lurie and Bear, it's like Kirk is like looking at himself, calling them, kind of. It's fucked up. And so now, and when we go to commercial, it's like, cancel red alert. We got to go down and meet with these Klingons. And half the time they pronounce it Klingons, half the time they pronounce it Klingon.
Yeah.
And one thing that I hate is they call the Klingon language Klingonese.
Yeah.
You'll all be speaking Klingonese. It's like,
you better study up.
You speak Klingon, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of obviously redone,
fine-tuning it.
There's a lot of redone, remastered special effects shots of the station.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot.
There's a Klingon warship hovering in the distance, and also it's basically. And now this guy reminds me of James Urbaniak, the dude who does the voice for Rusty Venture on Venture Brothers, and he's in a lot of other shit. The Klingon captain, Koloth, fucking great actor.
Apparently he's also in a Square Gothos, too.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the same guy?
No, he's not. Yeah, it is. It's the same captain because he's somebody that they've dealt with before. And so basically what they're saying is the Klingons are like, hey, we get shore leave here just like you get shore leave here, motherfucker. That's like, it's like part of it's like the code of space travel.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
The Organian Peace Treaty. Again, this is from the Alan Asherman, compendium here.
Lay it on us. So why do they get to have...
It's just an Organian Peace Treaty, that's all, while protecting the glorified wheat. So now, with Kirk, pretty much against... He can't go against a treaty, right? Because the Federation will go apeshit.
So he's got to let the Klingons hang out.
But then he goes, I'll let you guys down. But only 12 of you at a time can come down. And I'll have, twice as many men, or as, an equal amount of men as you do.
Yeah, he
says, not more. Right?
He says he's going to have one security officer. Kirk says, I'm going to have one security officer present for every Klingon. And the Klingons are like, whatever, dude. We're just going to do our thing.
Yeah.
Captain Koloth. So Koloth's, the looks on Koloth's face, he's such a smug son of a bitch. I love him, dude. Yeah. He's like, that guy just rules.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of good villains in this episode.
There's a great guest stars.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't call Cyrano a villain, but Cyrano Jones a villain, but there's a funny beat.
True, but just like, what is it? Someone that gets in the way, right?
Antagonist.
An antagonist. There we go.
Oh, an antagonist.
Oh, God. And then this clip that happens here. Yeah.
So funny. Kirk and Spock get back from the station and they're on, and they're back on the Enterprise. And they walk in on Scotty, who's reading a technical manual.
Yeah,
and the screen looks really futuristic, like this on the remaster. They like added what he was looking at or something. And basically, Kirk gives him shit for reading manuals.
Yeah, he's like, "Why are you catching up on technical reviews?"
Another technical journal, Scotty. Aye, and Scotty's just smiling like an idiot. And Kirk says, "Don't you ever relax?" And he says, "I am relaxing." Fucking dork.
Yeah, and he's like, "Okay,
you fucking dork, Scotty."
As he walks over, transition right back to the Tribbles here.
And now we've got
12?
There's a lot of Tribbles, 11 or 12, and then Uhura says she had babies, and Kirk's like, in that case, you got a bargain.
Yeah,
he says, are you running a nursery? Kirk is immediately suspicious of this bullshit.
So you got to run a maternity ward. You got to run a nursery. You got to run a maternity. Like, you got to take care of all of them. That's crazy.
There's a great there's a great moment here where Spock is looking at the Tribble and he goes, it seems to have a trilling effect that would be calming to humans. I, of course, am immune to such effects. And he's immediately like taken by the Tribble trilling. His Vulcan nervous system is giving in. And so she's got all these Tribbles. And this, Kirk this isn't going to be a problem.
No, I mean, there's only 12.
Oh, another great beat. Another great beat here is Bones. Something I know that I've been really bad about covering my notes. Like I make pages of notes.
Really?
It still ends up being entertaining, but I always have pages of notes and I never look at them because we get into watching the episode, right?
Oh, I know.
So one thing that I would hate to miss here is Bones asked for a Tribble to take back to the medical area and study, and Uhura says, okay, but if you're going to dissect it, don't tell me about it. She doesn't say don't dissect it.
Yeah.
She says, if you're going to do whatever the fuck sick fucking shit you want to it, just do not let me know. And he's like, no, I'm not going to hurt it. And also, do you think I'm a fucking monster? Like, he's like, I drink mint juleps and shit.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to cut this open and pin its skin to a fucking pin board like a frog? No. And also, I hate that one of the other crewmen asks for a tribble, and she goes, sure, I guess. I think they're old enough. Oh, you're an expert now because you fed one and it popped out a bunch of tribabies?
Yeah, she's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to take care of them, so go right ahead. And then the 12 spread.
Oh,
and it kind of feels like I'm playing some zombie game, Dead Island, other than listening or doing this podcast and work and all that.
We're sponsored by Dead Island.
Yeah, I wish. But anyways, that reminded me of just like how an infection spreads of like, rather than just people getting sick, but just like people getting appealed to like attracted to these tribbles, and like those 12 people are going to meet another 12 and another 12 and
it's
another 12. It's
definitely an MLM.
Yeah.
It's a biological MLM.
Yes.
You have
you can't stop amassing.
It's a multi-level marketing skill is in the fact that you have to do it or you're just stuck with tribbles that will eat all your grain.
Yeah, right.
Now, this Mr. Barris then contacts Kirk. Mm-hmm. Kirk is just in the wreck area where they were looking at the tribbles. And they contact him and they pipe Barris through, and Barris is like, my station is swarming with Klingons. And Kirk is like, it's a dozen Klingons, dude. Yeah, it's not a swarm.
What is a swarm?
All of my security guards are around the grain. There's absolutely nothing going to happen.
I have guards around the Klingons. I have guards around the guards. Like,
there's guards around the guards around the guards around the grain. Guards around the guards around the guards around the grain.
Yeah.
And then Kirk tells Spock, I got to go to sickbay. And Spock says, why? And Kirk says, headache. And he this is such a great beat. He goes, Kirk out. And he says, Spock says, Captain, may I ask where you'll be? And he says, sickbay. With a headache. He does this great thing with his hand where he touches his temple. And when he walks into sickbay, motherfucking Bones just has a big jug of tribbles.
He immediately confines them too.
Yeah, they're just in a big bucket, and
just on top of each other.
And Bones says, "Look, I don't know how they reproduce, but I know that 50% of all of the energy they consume is geared for reproduction." And if you feed a tribble, what do you think you get? And Kirk's like, a big fat tribble, and he goes, no, you get 100 smaller baby tribbles.
10 more, or a bunch of little ones.
Yep.
And he's still trying to figure it out, though, at this point.
Yeah, Bones is on the case.
Yes.
Regarding the tribbles. And this is a funny beat when they're beaming down a group for shore leave.
Yeah.
And Kirk is like, Scotty, you have to go with them. And Scotty's like, I don't want to take shore leave. And he's like, you have to take shore leave, Scotty. And so, and Scotty is just so depressed to have to leave the ship. I almost think that it is unhealthy, his fixation with the ship, and that comes into.
That's why he was like, please go.
The ship is like his wife, which is why he stands up for it in the next couple scenes.
Yeah, but it ages really well though, because Scotty's always just like, please, Captain, I really don't. I'd rather just chill here.
I'd rather just read my manuals.
Maybe he's like, I really hate Klingons.
Well, he's definitely hates Klingons and is racist against Klingons. Chekhov said, we'll be close enough to smell them. He fucking hates Klingons. So basically, Cyrano Jones tries to sell Scotty and Chekhov and another gold shirt a tribble, and they're like, get away from us.
Yeah, whatever.
And then the tribble has an adverse reaction to the Klingons that are in the bar.
And that'll be key later, obviously.
Yep, and the Klingon is like, get it away from me, that thing is a fucking parasite.
And they're like, whoa, damn, okay.
Yeah, and now he goes back to the bartender and says, hey, you need another tribble? And the bartender...
Like, a tribble?
And now you tell him...
a pretty good gag as, like... He starts to pull out tribble by tribble by tribble, and he ends up, I think, pulling out like
we're like at 7 now. I think 8, 9.
No, he pulls out like a good
10,
pile of them.
11,
and there's this musical
12.
Beat.
It's very,
the music's so creepy with those violins.
It's very of the time in terms of how comedy looked on TV.
But there's still that comedic timing with shit repeating.
It's great.
Yeah.
I thought it's a great beat. Very funny. And now...
God, this part too.
Hilarious. Scotty gives Chekhov shit for drinking vodka like it's milk.
Yeah.
And he's like, I drink a man's drink, and it's like scotch. And then
Yeah.
Scotty says scotch was invented by an old lady in Leningrad. Like he's making fun of it.
Yeah.
Now, the Klingons are like kind of... the Klingons start talking shit.
Yeah, of course.
They start talking shit about humans and Earthers.
Earth
and
people.
Chekhov really wants to fight, right? And Scotty, the calmer head, is like, no.
No, it's okay. They're just words.
Yeah,
like,
he says...
he's just teasing.
He says Kirk isn't even as... And then he really digs into Kirk. He says Kirk isn't even as good as a Rygillian bloodworm. He's just like a real piece of shit. And Chekhov is like going to do something about it. And Scotty stops him.
Yeah.
Calmer heads prevailed again.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion, he says.
And Scotty says, we can take a few insults, all right? Yeah. We're all adults here. Oh, and he says, and if I think Kirk is a Denebian slime devil... and then he says...
sounds like a slug or a bug or something, right? It
definitely is. Yeah. And then he says, well, that's my opinion, too. And now Chekhov really wants to fight, and he won't let him. Scotty won't let him, but then... The guy says he starts talking shit about the Enterprise, and he says the Enterprise is garbage, or no, the Enterprise is a garbage scow. And then like, Scotty's like,
"Don't you think you should rephrase that?"
Here it is. Don't you think you should rephrase that? And he goes, you're right, I should.
Oh, my gosh. He says, it's just all tense.
He says, I didn't mean to say that the Enterprise was a garbage scow. I meant to say it's fucking garbage. And Scotty gets up and just kicks the shit out of him, and they start a very hilarious and long-winded fight. There's a great scene of Cyrano pouring himself a bunch of free drinks. That's one of my
favorite bits of the whole episode. And then I was like, I would probably get some free drinks if a bar fight was happening.
Cyrano is carrying his free drinks carefully through the bar fight, like spinning around so he doesn't spill them. And then right at the end, the owner comes in and takes his drink, but whoops, he's got another one in his pocket. He's got a glass in his pocket. Like, that would spill all over your pocket.
It's full of alcohol.
Like, he just happens to...
That'd be funny if he took it out and it was, like, fucking all over and spilled all over his hands, and he was like, oh, my pocket's wet.
Exactly. Like, oh, man, this is not the gag I thought it was. Oh, my God. He's like, I got to get my coat dry cleaned now. I have wine in my pocket.
This is where a Tribble is.
Oh, no, this Tribble is drowned in wine. And they find out that's their weakness, is cheap wine. So Kirk accuses... So now they've got all the people who are on the station. Kirk's got to stop shore leave for both ships.
Yes.
And he's got all the Enterprise crew that was on the station, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it. They're all lined up. And Kirk says, Chekhov, you started this, didn't you little firecracker? I love how he's like, Chekhov, I know you, man. He talks some shit.
You're crazy. You're a hot rod.
And then there's a great exchange between Scotty and Kirk where Scotty admits, I did it.
Well, he's like, dude, Scotty, I literally sent you for this to not happen.
And then Scotty says, so the Klingons talk shit about humans, right? And then they talk shit about you. And he goes, oh, okay, so you punched him after he talked shit about me. Yeah. You know? And Scotty goes, no. And he goes, well, what made you punch me? He goes, he said the Enterprise was garbage, sir. And Kirk is like, so just so you understand, just so I know.
Yeah, right.
You didn't care when he was insulting me. You attacked him when he insulted the ship.
Yeah.
And Scotty goes, well,
is
Captain,
this on the record?
you have to have some, what does he say? Oh, because he says, no, we can take some insults when he's talking about insulting Kirk.
Right.
And that's when you hit the Klingons, not because they... And then Scotty says, well, right, you have to have standards, sir.
And he's like,
oh, no, it's a point of pride. That's what he says. And now there's Tribbles everywhere. There's Tribbles in the food bowls.
Oh, dude, this back and forth is hilarious, too, though. There's a lot of good back-to-back, like, comedic scenes.
There's good two-hander scenes.
Yeah,
definitely. Tell us about this one.
Well, it's Bones and Spock. They're both, looking over the Tribbles and figuring out what they're even used for. And Bones is like, does everything have to have a practical use for you? They're nice, they're cuddly, they
make
purr.
a pleasant sound.
And he's like, yeah, so would a violin, but it doesn't make sense to have one, Bones. Like, this might just be more trouble than it's worth.
Oh.
Oh, and then he is frequently inundated by them, but he does have to put up, training. He has to train himself to like not be as attracted to them.
Yeah, he's basically saying he's like because I'm around all these fucking humans, I'm starting to act like a goddamn human.
Goddamn human.
And then Spock says the Tribbles do have one redeeming quality though. They shut the fuck up. And Bones is like, whoa.
Whoa, okay. And I think at this point Bones is smitten too, but it's just, I don't know. It's funny to see them like try to defend the whole notion of even having them.
There's a great episode of Futurama from the Comedy Central years where cats control humans' minds with their cuteness.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of that. And so after after Spock and Bones are talking, it cuts to Kirk sitting on a Tribble on the bridge. And Kirk gets on Uhura's case about this, and she's like, "I don't know, man. It just happened." And here we go.
And then as soon as he finds all the Tribbles on the bridge, and Kirk has them in his arms, Bones comes out of the what is it? The lift?
Turbo lift.
Turbo lift. Yep.
Bones comes out of the turbo lift saying, "I figured it out. These things are fucking born pregnant,
and they're bisexual.
And if they eat anything, they're and then
50% of their metabolism goes towards having sex.
And it goes towards having babies.
Oh,
and then he's without sex.
Oh, yeah, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
But still, they might sexualize the having the babies, I guess. Gross. But so now this is where he uses the term bisexual. What he means is they reproduce asexually. This is not what bisexual means. He's like, yeah, they've got purple lighting, like soft purple lighting. They're bisexual. But I thought that was so funny. What he means is they reproduce asexually. It's just one thing can reproduce, but hilarious. And then he says it seems to be quite a time saver. And so basically he tasks.
But that's how he hints at it, though. He goes, "And brother, do they have a lot of will?"
And he tasks Bones and Spock with figuring this shit out. And he goes, "I'm going down to the station and we're going to interrogate Cyrano Jones
because he's the one that started to hand them out.
Started all the bullshit." And so basically Kirk is like, "Cyrano." And Cyrano says, "But it's not a dangerous animal." And Kirk says, "Cyrano, you must have known that taking it out of its predator-rich environment." So then it makes sense. The reason Tribbles reproduce so quickly is because they're prey on their planet. They have to, or there wouldn't be any Tribbles. And he's like, "That's why you don't feed them." And he's like, "That's how I make them. That's why they multiply." And so Spock likens it to a genie in a bottle, baby. Got to rub it just the right way, honey.
And the genie's escaped, essentially. But isn't that like more Pandora's box?
Exactly. Yes, that's sort of same kind of thing.
I guess, I don't know. Tribbles are cuter than like what was in Pandora's box.
Exactly. Whatever monstrous truth.
Do you know what I akin it to? Like the Meeseeks issue in the Rick and Morty, where they like reproduce or they keep making each other or something like that. There's plenty of like sci-fi shows though that have this whole Tribble trope.
Exactly. Where there's like a swarm,
something that's reproducing too much.
So one person I want to talk about is this guy Arn Darvin, who is Barris's assistant.
Yeah,
and he's played by this guy Charlie Brill, such a great character actor in this. And he looks exactly like this actor from iZombie who played Mr. Boss, and he's in a bunch of stuff. It's just like time traveling actor face. I fucking love it. This guy's a real tool shed. He's always standing up for Barris, and he's really like, we gotta keep the grain safe, etc. And so
they're just another stickler to help the bigger stickler.
And so basically, he's saying that Barris is saying, "Kirk, you've taken this project far too lightly. We've now had a fight on the station." And Kirk says, "I think this project is very important. It's you that I take lightly, you fuck."
And, he's just trying to he's trying to figure out whether he accuses Cyrano Jones of being a Klingon agent.
Yeah, Barris does.
You know,
and they're just like,
Kirk.
what? Cyrano wasn't even around when the Klingons showed up. Like, he was in the bar. Like, and they're saying there must be a Klingon agent on the motherfucking station, basically.
Right.
And he's saying, and then Barris says it's Cyrano, and Spock is saying he's never broken the law, at least not severely, and for the past 7 years with his one-man spaceship, he has obtained a marginal living by engaging in the buying and selling of rare merchandise, including, unfortunately, tribbles.
Wow. And he's just, I guess he's just a merchant, right?
Yeah, he's just a merchant. And then we get back to the Enterprise, where the tribbles are in the coffee, they're in the replicator. He gets a turkey sandwich, and it's a tribble, and a cup of coffee, and it's tribble hair. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, a chicken sandwich.
And now
and the coffee.
And now Scotty comes in, and it's really affecting the ship. They're in
the
gears,
transporters too.
They're in the works. And then when they transport down, tribbles come with them. They get back to the station, and and this is where they go to look at the grain finally. They're like, you know what? We've been talking about this fucking grain. We're going to look at this goddamn grain. They eventually get into where the grain is, and it's full of tribbles.
Yeah, and this whole gag is insane that they just drop all these little fuzzy things on all these tribbles on Kirk. Yeah,
I just, the idea of William Shatner. It cuts to commercial with him having tribbles fall on him. And then it comes back from commercial with him rising up out of a pile of tribbles.
Oh, my God.
And one thing I think is fucked up about this is you later learn that, like, half of these tribbles are dead. So he's, like, in a pile of tribble corpses.
Oh, I know. It feels like...
It's grim. Grim as hell.
And some of them are moving and some aren't.
So he's saying that the tribbles ate all the grain, and Barris is like, this is your fault.
You insulted me. I told you exactly what to do, and you broke it. You fucked it all up. And then as soon as he gets all the shitty news, Bones walks in, and he's like, I got it, Kirk. If we quit feeding them, they stop breeding.
And all these tribbles just fell out of the grain silo. Like, yeah, we'll stop feeding them.
And Kirk's like, no shit.
But here's the thing. There's still grain left in there. And so they don't really understand if how the tribbles hadn't eaten it all.
That's true.
And so a lot of the tribbles are dead. And so Kirk is like, we're going to Bones examine the tribbles, examine the grain. We're going to find out what killed them. And Barris is just pissed. He says they'll have an inquiry board. They're going to roast you alive. And I'm going to be there, Kirk, to enjoy every minute of it. It's fucking great.
It sounds like, what is it, that jerk, that mean professor, the substitute teacher in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Order of Phoenix, the one that just like fucking makes all those rules.
I'll take your word for it, but yes. The Potterites out there.
Yeah. But also, too, though, it's just so, what is it? Just feels like everything's going wrong at the same time. But the fact that some of these tribbles died kind of, put more of a hint of what the hell is going on here. And now they got Cyrano Jones back in the same office in the same chair.
They're going to interrogate him again.
And he has 6 tribbles on him.
He's holding a bunch of tribbles. And this is where we're going to have, it's all going to come out in the wash here.
Everything's this is a gotcha moment, I feel.
The Klingons are fucking pissed. He's like, you're gonna take responsibility for the persecution of Klingon nationals in this quadrant. You're going to apologize. Kirk says, apologize. You've harassed my men. And he says, Captain Kirk, now, if you wish to avoid a diplomatic incident, and then so basically he wants them to fucking give them Sherman's planet, basically.
Yeah, and Barris is like, no, that's the whole reason why I'm here, please.
Exactly. And Kirk says before he takes any official action, he'd like to know what just happened. And that's when the tribbles react poorly to the Klingons. And then so now we find out that the Klingons reacted poorly to the tribbles reacted poorly to the Klingons in the bar earlier. Go ahead. Sorry.
But right as the reason why they even end up catching who done it to this mystery is because they're talking, right, and they're about to accuse Cyrano Jones of all this terror and this Klingon attack or whatever. And right as before the Klingons want to talk, though, Koloth is like, "Get those fucking things out of here! I can't look at them." And the security guards grab him, and as they're walking out, the assistant, what's his name? Assistant Davin.
Yep.
He walks in, and then the Tribbles
react to him.
And they like scream at him.
Before that, though, they show them to all the other people. So like Kirk walks the Tribbles around like a dowsing rod.
But then they're like, "Wait, didn't you say they don't like Klingons?" And then they I don't know. They milk
really
it, make it sure. Yeah,
they milk the tension, and then he goes, "Bones, you have to scan this Darwin motherfucker." And Bones says his heartbeat is off and his body temperature, and then he says, "Captain, this man is a Klingon." A Klingon?
Dun, dun, dun.
I wonder what Starfleet Command will say about that. What about? And then he says, "What about the grain, Bones?" We find out the grain was poisoned. So basically Klingons probably poisoned the grain, or somebody poisoned the grain, so that it would build up in your system and choke.
So you could take less food,
and it would choke you eventually kill you and choke your cells. Mm-hmm. And so they were going to do that to make it so that the Federation
attacked them or murdered them.
Well, it would make it would at least make the Federation look incompetent on their settlement for Sherman's planet. Mm-hmm. And then the Tribbles, as this Darwin guy explains, or is a total accident.
Yeah, right.
So the fact that the Tribbles found the grain.
He was like, "Oh no, I definitely meant the poison people. I don't want to see a Tribble in my face ever again."
Yeah, get that shit out of here. And the Tribbles are still screeching at the Klingons. Kirk's like, "I don't think you're going to get an apology, considering Klingons fucking did all this shit." And then
get the hell out of here.
Cyrano Jones gets his little button.
They got to tie him a couple more knots.
Cyrano Jones goes into the bar that's full of Tribbles, and Kirk says, "Look, you can spend 7 years in a rehabilitation colony, or you can grab every Tribble here and collect them all." And he goes, "I think that'll take about 7 years."
And he's like, "Oh yeah, actually
17.9. Spock says, 17.9 years to be exact to collect every Tribble. And they just leave him, and he slowly goes about his business. And it's just like, dude, you need a basket or something. He's just putting him in his jacket. What the hell? And then the Enterprise flies away from Space Station K9.
And then there's this weird little funny last gag. I guess it's kind of like a fucked up prank, too, at the end. And he goes, "Oh, wow, I don't see any Tribbles anymore." And, he goes, "Oh, well, how did you do that, Bones?" And Bones like, "I don't know. Scotty did it. I won't take word for it." And Kirk goes, "So where are the Tribbles?" And he's like, "Well, it was really Spock's recommendation." And they all try to pass it off.
It's like, what the fuck happened? Kirk just wants to know what they did.
Where'd they go?
What did you do with the Tribbles?
And then he's just like, "I don't want to." He goes, "I don't want to interrupt this mutual admiration." Where did they go? And Scott ends up. Transporting them into the cargo, the Klingon ship.
Yes, he transported all the Tribbles into the Klingon ship, which should be like an act of war.
Yeah, I was this is a little fucked up.
And also, they're kind of just saying, "Hey, Klingons, you kill these Tribbles for us." Mm. Like, the Klingons are just going to... Like, what I would have done
is... put them in a trash compactor.
Exactly. They would just open the... Like, I would have just... tied everything down in the station and opened the airlocks, and that would have just sucked all the Tribbles out into space. Just like when Homer...
well, that's what Kirk thinks Scotty did in the first place. He's like, "You shot him out?" He's like, "Oh, no, I'm not a psycho.
I'm not a monster. I won't be..." He thought he beamed him into the void of space.
War criminal.
He thought he
wanted to fuck up this Klingon ship.
And they all have a good laugh, and the Klingons are going to die. And that is Trouble with Tribbles. So what did you think, Al?
I don't know. I mean, it was like... It's definitely one of the funniest ones, for sure.
Hilarious. Cyrano Jones is a great...
issues. Yeah.
The Klingons are funny.
The Tribbles are just so strange. They're just like balls of fuzz.
It's such a strange alien to be such a huge problem.
Yeah, and I think the compendium mentions too, and I agree, where it's like... This is one of the first or couple of times where it's like, this is an organism that overtakes the Enterprise. Just like by inertly reproducing a ton. I mean, whether it was malicious or not, right? Obviously it wasn't, but it's just the first time where it just feels helpless, but in a more comedic sense of like, now they're in my coffee. What are we going to do? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I never really felt the urgency to like get the Tribbles off the Enterprise.
Exactly. It just felt like a pain. It felt like a pain of like multiple things.
Whatever,
of,
just
like,
throw them out
just figure out this
put them in a bucket
thing.
And
this grain.
And it's cool that like it's this huge contentious issue between the Klingon government and the Federation. And then it's all upended and exposed by these little fucking Tribbles that are clearly meant to like sell toys or something. I feel like that must be.
Well, I don't actually.
I'm surprised. What does the compendium say? Because I want to talk about a couple other things. So see what the compendium says about the design for Tribbles.
They mention a bunch of the cast too. That what is it called? A bunch of the guest stars were like from a ton of different sci-fi stuff too, like Body Snatchers, I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, The Man from Planet X. But let me read from the compendium here. Tribbles were an instant success, and many individuals began to create them and sell them through mail and at conventions where they are still available. A major toy company once advertised a line of Tribbles and in limited quantities. So, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't like extremely popular, but it kind of, if you get it in a keychain, I feel like people would be like, oh, it's like a rabbit's foot.
It. Yeah, I dig it.
But it's like a Star Trek rabbit's foot.
I love the dynamic between station manager Lurie and Barris and Barris's assistant who ends up being the Klingon agent.
Yeah, like Barris is like, oh my god, we gotta find out for this agent, guys. This Klingon agent, it could be that vendor. He had the Tribbles.
And just Lurie is just caught in the middle, like, I just want my station to not get broken. Yeah. And he's also kind of responsible for the grain, the Quattro Triticale. I like that running gag.
Yeah,
I thought
that was pretty good.
The fight in the bar is like the longest fight scene ever.
Yeah, I felt like they had to add that gag, otherwise it wouldn't have been as entertaining.
It takes a long time in that scene for Cyrano to start walking across, though. Like, he goes and makes a big production out of filling his drink glasses. Yeah. And then he walks across and like spins around. It is a lot of, it's a lot. And that's one, I love the gag where Uhura says, hey, if you're going to dissect it, don't tell me about it. Like, I don't care. You can kill it and chop it up, but I just don't want to know if you're serving it to me. Don't tell me.
And Bones and Spock arguing like brothers too.
Dude, yeah, another great Bones and Spock scene. And the scene with Kirk and Scotty where Scotty's like, it's a point of pride about the Enterprise. Fucking great. I loved it. What else you want to say about this episode, bro?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it was solid. I guess it was maybe a 4 out of 5 Tribbles.
So your rating would be 4 out of 5 Tribbles?
Yeah.
I give it a 5.5 because the Klingons are great. It's just like rarely do you get 3 groups of characters that are all delivering. So the Klingons are great. The Star Trek, the Enterprise crew is great. The people, Barris and fucking Lurie are great. It's just really firing on all cylinders. It's got a good fight, a lot of jokes, funny Scotty shit.
Yes, it is a lot of jokes.
I think that it comes... The only way they could have amped it up a little bit more is if they would have been like, hey, the Enterprise is going to explode if we don't find a way to get these Tribbles off the ship. You know?
That's true.
And I just love the history of Tribbles and how, like I said, they show up in DS9. So I give it 4.5 Tribbles out of 5 Tribbles.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So that is Trouble with Tribbles on Trek in the Valley. Now is the time of the episode where we recommend shit. Al, what do you got?
I don't actually... let me think. There was the new Studio Ghibli movie, actually. I just saw.
So you saw The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was like visually fantastic. Like that studio will always nail it. You know, they never
Miyazaki.
Won't. Yeah. And, but the plot was solid. I guess it was just like, it's kind of split down the middle of 50% reality and 50% fantasy. And like, I was talking to my girlfriend who I saw it with at the time, and she was like, I don't know, I kind of wanted to see a bit more reality, but I wanted more fantasy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So it's just like, okay, you're doing animation, like go crazy too, you know? But I guess what I appreciate is that they're still doing kind of original stories, that like they're still kind of trying to see what sticks, but it's visually fantastic. I would go watch it if you have the chance, if you're a big fan of Studio Ghibli, but it's not like Howl's Moving Castle.
I'm probably going to see it on Max.
Yeah.
I watched my friend
I saw the
Tortoro.
subbed. I didn't see the dub. I would probably see the dubbed on Max.
Yeah, with the American cast.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch it with subs.
Pattinson would be funny to hear.
I'd rather watch it with subs first, like I did with Princess Mononoke. But yeah, I need to rewatch all the Miyazaki bangers, and I think most of them are on Max.
They're super good, yeah.
But yeah,
it's just they build high expectations. That's all, you know. So that's why this one was good, but it wasn't like
Boy and the Heron. You think if you like Studio Ghibli, try and see it in a theater.
Yeah.
Right on, cool. I'm going to say, and it's probably not going to be in theaters anymore when you hear this, but Godzilla -1.
Oh, yeah, that's right, -1.
I saw it twice on opening weekend. One of the times was with Alan, his girlfriend, and my wife, and we watched it in 4D. And the 4D was so much more intense than I thought it was going to be. Like when they did the demo at the beginning, like how they do a sound demo, but this time they like show a demo of you like flying around a bunch of explosions and cars exploding and shit, and the seats like shake, like it like punches you in the back and it blows mist in your face. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. And then I was just like, I can't believe this is going to be the whole movie. And in spite of how ridiculous that was, I still absolutely fucking love the movie. It was a masterpiece. And then I went, like, we saw it on a early fan screening on a Wednesday, and then I just went and saw it on a regular screen, but a big screen on a Saturday morning at like 9 a.m. or some shit.
It's still around for another week.
Yeah, maybe you'll see this.
They probably got more.
Maybe
a week and a half. Who knows?
That's the other thing. It has broken a bunch of records because it didn't win the weekend it came out, but it was the highest grossing film last Monday. Yeah. No, like last individual days last week. Exactly, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think. Maybe not Thursday because something opened, but yeah. So it only cost like $15 million to make.
That's the buzz,
and it's already made 50 worldwide. So
it's insane,
and it's so fucking good. Yeah. The one of the only times in a Godzilla movie I've ever given a shit about the people characters.
Yeah, they intertwine them really well,
and it's like it's just so much different than all the other Godzilla movies. But it's got all the great stuff that you want, and all the scenes on the water just look amazing. I can't wait to buy it on Blu-ray and 4K and watch the shit out of it. But so -1. So there you go. A couple recommendations if they're still playing. A couple of Japanese movies to check out.
There you go. 2 Japanese movies.
And that's Trouble with Tribbles. Next week you're going to hear an episode about the Gamesters of Triskelion. The Gamesters of Triskelion.
It feels like a Gladiators thing, you know.
And that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I feel like, okay.
They nailed it. So thanks for listening. Listen to the bumper. Do all the stuff. Like, subscribe.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week and a good New Year's in a couple days. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam. Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials. And you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking world.